Yes, people, and welcome back to another video on the Bridge YouTube channel where we bring you all things Chelsea. I'm your host with the most, the Bridge 258, here to discuss Nottingham Forest 1, Chelsea nil. Here we go. I don't know what to say. Obviously, this is a straight instant out of the reaction. And let me start with basically what I like to do usually, which is discuss the game, then obviously go into specific points. So in the first half, I felt like we were kind of creating one or two chances, but I felt like we were very slow. Seemed like we were a bit lethargic in my opinion. Very stale. We're very stale in attack. It's always like that final ball would be either overhit or underhit. Or that ball would be a bit too low or something like that, or we wouldn't be able to get past the final man essentially. It really felt like to me that we were very stale in the first half, and there were, and particularly towards the end of the first half, it felt like Nottingham Forest were on the ropes, and we just couldn't, be able to take advantage of that. And at the end of the day, in that first half, we ended 0-0, and it is what it is. We were pretty much, because of the fact that teams, we create a lot of chances, particularly on that right hand side of Sterling and Jackson. They were literally just defending that half very well. On the other side, we weren't really creating that chance, particularly Chilwell being the left winger there. So there was nothing that was really coming out from that section at all. So it was very hard for the team to create chances, to do what they needed to do to get the job done. In the second half, obviously we had the Caicedo mistake early in the game, and what obviously he lose touch, and when he's able to get that ball, passes it through Thiago Silva's legs, who, because he rushes forward, and then obviously Disasi and Cole will have to come in like that, but because of how fast Elanga is, he's able to speed past them and does a really good finish into the back of the net. So shout out Elanga, man. I'm saying at the end of the day. Going forward, Chelsea were trying to create attacks, but again, Sterling, wasn't on it today for me, in my opinion. Jackson was just getting bullied, in my opinion, on the ball. He was having one or two shots in that second half. Chilwell, I don't know what Chilwell was doing that half. The left wing thing, we'll speak more of that quite soon in the review. But yeah, Chilwell was not working there at all, in my opinion. And then obviously remove Chilwell out of the equation. You move Chilwell out of the equation when you bring on both Cole Palmer and Madueke, because you also take off Gallagher. Going then, we weren't really creating still final chances. Some stuff was happening, but again, we were just crossing the ball. I don't understand that crossing the ball thing again. When you're facing teams that are very tall, and the only guy that's tall lecturing your attack is like Jackson, I'm not sure why we're doing high crosses, in my opinion. Again, going forward, we're very not that great at all. In my opinion as well, it was just not great. You know what I'm saying? There's no other way to put it, in my opinion. Just not great. Obviously, you had that big Jackson chance that happened towards the end, where he literally missed the goal by 2 meters, sent it flying. There's nothing more for me to say. I don't know what to say to that at all. It's very poor, man. Just in general, and I think that just sums up the game. We were very stale and very poor. That just sums it up for me in general. So let's move on now to discuss, the points of issue. I think for me, point of issue number one is the formation, in my opinion. Like, I'm sorry, we cannot be continuously playing Chilwell. Like, teams now have literally just sussed us out. As long as they can keep control of both Sterling, or like Sterling has an off day, and like literally, and we keep playing Chilwell on that, it's not working, guys. We need to play either bring on the Sterling onto the left wing and play Madueke or Cole Palmer onto that right wing. Quite literally, that's all you have. You have to start doing that now, in my opinion. Secondly, Chilwell himself, not a great left winger. I feel like, I understand Chilwell going forward is good, but that's from a fullback position. Play him in his actual fullback position and let that happen as well. Obviously, Caicedo, he was playing pretty good until that mistake, which sadly led to the goal. Which was an obvious mistake from him. He should be doing better there, in my opinion, anyway. But that was a poor mistake from Caicedo. And then obviously Thiago Silva rushes in, but the thing with Thiago Silva is, because he's rushing in, like the other two defenders aren't able to, and one of the other two defenders, aren't able to come out in time to cover that space that he basically in the center that he lets go, and so it just allows Elanga to, because of how fast he's coming through his legs, bang, and he's in there, and Levi Cole and his heart don't have the pace to match that at all. So that was poor by both of them in general, by Caicedo and then by Thiago Silva afterwards, in the manner in which he defended that, in my opinion. But I knew he had to come forward. But the thing for me was that he should have tried to have at least maintain that defensive wall rather than go at him straight. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, Cole and Disas were still on either side of him. I may be wrong, but let me know in the comments. But I thought that was the situation. I'll have to rewatch again. But again, it's an instant reaction for me. But going forward, man, and Jackson again, still young. He's a young player, but that's a very poor performance from Jackson, in my opinion. Like, he should be doing that. There was some chances he had where he should have been really putting them away. He wasn't himself today. Wasn't that great going forward either. It's not a good performance from Jackson, in my opinion, too. Sterling, there were times where he looked good, but other than that, he looked very stale. Was back to like some of his former self. Wasn't really going at it against defenders. He was having a poor game himself too. You then look at obviously, we've spoken about Chilwell. Gallagher was alright, to be honest. He was doing his job. Enzo, for me, again, wasn't at his best today. He was falling around a lot. Felt like he was a bit lethargic to me. Like, he wasn't doing what he usually does as well either. So, it was very poor performances all round. Gusto, I think, again, does his job really well defensively. I'm not sure what's going on with the crosses, because maybe it's because he's not been crossing that much while he's been at this club, because at Lyon he was crossing perfectly, but he is not cooking there. His cross was either too high or too low. Same with Chilwell, was either too high, too low. Sterling's saving too high or too low. Honestly, for me, Sanchez, can't really blame him at all, for me, in my opinion, as much as I would like to do so. Disasi and Levi Cole, can't really even blame them too for that goal either. But it's just when it comes down to it, man, I've always said this before. For me, the midfield is a known entity. The defense, once we get the guys in back, like Badiashile and everything, I truly believe is a known entity as well. But the attacking force going forward is the unknown entity. And for me, man, Poch needs to be getting more creativity in that, because we need to be creating more chance. We need to have more attacking guys on there. Chilwell being there is not gonna cut it. I think for me, the formation change needs to actually go back to a full 4-2-3-1. Now, you've got Cole Palmer that can play in the 10, play Madueke on the right, play Sterling on the left, and then you play Jackson in the middle. That's the formation that you have to do. That's the plays you have to play. For me, it's really as simple as that. For me, because obviously when Madueke came on, he looked quite bright. Palmer looked alright, but again, he was coming to a situation that kind of wasn't his fault. Similar to I said, where he's just literally been thrown into the deep end at the end of the day when it comes down to it. And honestly, I'm very interested to see what the comments that Pochettino comes out, because I understand that, of course, going forward we still need time and everything, but some of the chances we were missing were very bad from Jackson. But at the same time, you're inhibiting chance creation by what you're doing as well. So you're inhibiting the amount of chance we can create. Sometimes, especially with young teams, you need them to have more. You need to have a bit more of a bit more attackers, so that they can at least have some level of volume, creative chances, so they can just create more and more chances, and eventually those ones will go into the back of the net when it comes down to it. So just for me, there were chances, but barring one or two which are clear cut, the chances weren't even that clear cut either. So just when it comes down to, we need to be doing a bit more of a better job than that. Maatsen looked alright, but again, he's Maatsen looked alright. Mudryk, pretty much there's no other way to put it. I couldn't even argue with what some of the stuff he was doing, because he was at least trying. But he's got time now. I don't think a majority of the squad is going out, obviously, to the international break, so he's got a big chance now to go and solve a lot of the situation that we have right now at the end of the day. So hopefully he can do that. Hopefully we can get this situation sorted out as much as possible. But honestly, to lose to Nottingham Forest now is not great. Obviously, the record now is 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses right now. Not been great before. The 2 losses for me, haven't been, obviously, the West Ham one. You could say we should have really won that one. With this one, again, not scoring a goal, not looked great either. Attacker's looking a bit stale. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks now we get some training in there, particularly in the attacking sense with these guys, with Cole Palmer, with Madueke. If you need to play Mudryk there, play Mudryk, Sterling and Jackson, where you can get the time with them for the next 2 weeks to train them as much as possible. The next game is Bournemouth. That is an ample opportunity for us to get back those 3 points that you've sorely missed, and get back to winning ways. But at the end of the day, guys, in conclusion, for you guys to both understand, this game was not great. Chelsea lost 1-0, as I said before. Not been great at all. Very poor, very stale. Let's change this formation, please. It's really as simple as that. And that is the video, guys. Please make sure again to like, share, subscribe as usual. And I've been your host of the most, The Bridge 258.